This is your first yoga video. Today we will be in my office. Nick is actually through the pass-through cooking some beef stew, which is not very yogic, but that's okay because it's cold. And since I had the day off, I thought I'd try making you a video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, sitting. There are various ways. Right now, I am sitting right on top of my feet. And I have on my socks today, although I would not normally wear them on hardwood floors because I could slip and injure myself. But for today, in our first lesson on sitting, I will have on my multicolored socks. So, as I'm sitting on top of my feet, there are different things I'm concerned with. First is, have I released through my sacrum and my pelvic girdle? Often, I have a tendency to push forward so as to say, I'm here, look, I'm here, and I'm awake. And what I've done is bring lordosis, or extra curve, right here in my lower back. So the first thing I want to consider is how to release here without coming forward. This is the way most people type on their computers all day. So yoga helps to strengthen the back, creating a neutral spine. So what I'm going to show you is this can be the same in cross-legged seating. I've found that many men who do yoga around me have difficulties getting their knees down, and so they feel rather uncomfortable. Often their knees are up like that. And that's okay, because yoga will help lengthen the hamstrings and strengthen the lower back so that you can sit in a neutral spine with your sitting bones on the floor. So for today, why don't we try sitting in cross-legged seated position. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So as I'm here, sitting cross-legged, I also have the tendency to, from a neutral spine, push forward to create extra lordosis, which is not a good thing actually, and something I work on constantly. So what I'm going to try to do is remove the extra flesh, thanks to your genetics, and moms, I have some of that, so that I can feel my sits bones on the floor. And the sits bones are my foundation to lengthen up through the spine without tension. And so if you can get to here, a simple cross-legged seated position, that would be wonderful. What we're going to do is inhale through the nose, in deep into the belly, exhale through the nose. You might hear me making a sound, and that's called Ujjayi breath, which really is just warming the breath, and it's a good way for me to focus my breath instead of in that way. That is called lion breath, but we won't go there today. Okay, so socks are off. So to warm up, I want to get right on top of my sits bones, not pushing forward or leaning back. I want to see if I can get right on top so that my head and neck can float, releasing tension from my shoulders, broadening the shoulders down the back and away from the ears. If your legs are up like this, that's okay too. The most important thing is not creating extra tension or flexion here to create a neutral spine. See? That's already better. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. I'm actually still pushing a little bit, so I'm going to let my chest release. And my spine float. So I'm going to inhale deep into the belly, exhale through the nose. So we're going to take 3 breath cycles here. In, out, lengthening the spine, releasing the jaw. In, out, in, out. In the yogic tradition, it is calming to the nervous system, it's massaging to the internal organs to develop a three-part breath. So when we inhale, the first thing that should move is the lower belly, because the diaphragm drops and it creates room, which will move the lower belly out, for the ribs to open and the lungs to expand and fill with air. So that's why often people who breathe up here naturally, and I do sometimes if I'm scared, you know, like if someone were to run around the